Hi guys. So I'm sitting outside right now in my swing set eating cake because this has kind of been like my life lately. I've been living on these swings. But I just had an interaction with my future father-in-law, who was a Libra. Sweetest guy in the world. And I was thinking to myself, like, about the sign Pisces, like, especially Pisces females. We're going to focus on the Pisces woman because we're known for being, like, the ultra feminine of the Zodiac. I don't know, Virgos would pretty much fall into that category too, but we're still softer than you Virgos. Sorry about that, guys. But I was thinking about, like, my past dating history and, like, my close, like, male friendships. I have a trine between Uranus and Venus, so for me, like, I really do, like, just get along with, like, just about everybody. Like, my friendships and stuff, and, like, I don't know. I'm not, like, the kind of woman that, like, won't have male friends. Like, my entire life, like, my closest friends were all male. Like, I always got along, like, better with males than females. But that probably has a lot to do with, like, my Pisces factor of, like, wanting to be protected. And I was thinking about my father-in-law, or my future father-in-law, sorry, whatever. I consider my fiancé my husband. We've been together for 2 years now. When I marry him, like, it's probably not going to be any different. Like, I already consider him to be, like, my soulmate, the love of my life. He's a Scorpio, by the way. But before him, I'm almost 30, and I've had, like, quite a few, like, relationships in my time. I was thinking past, like, the men that I dated and, like, what ones, like, worked and which ones didn't work. So, throughout my dating history, I dated, or I guess, like, we'll just call it, like, rendezvous. Because some of those you just can't consider it dating. I mean, when you're, like, 16 years old, it just doesn't, like, qualify. But, I dated a lot of Libras. I also had a lot of, like, Libra friends, which that could equate to having Libra in my 12th house, actually. Like, I know they say that a lot of times, like, you gravitate towards, like, people of, like, the same sign of your 12th house, and it helps you, like, helps your growth and stuff like that. And actually, for somebody with Libra in the 12th, I never really had a hard time, like, working with people, which I realized, like, is a pretty big, like, sign. Like, basically, like, whatever sits in your 12th house is, like, an energy that is normally, like, passive. It's something that you don't actually, like, feel that much. But I think I was always very Libra-like. And that could have also been because I dated a Libra for, like, 7 years. I also had, like, 2, like, really good, like, my Jew friends were both Libras. Like, just, I don't know, Libras were always, like, really cool for me. Like, I enjoyed, like, the equal, like, give and take and, like, fairness. And, like, they're just, like, big sweethearts. Big, warm, gooey sweethearts. But besides that, I dated, and, well, I should probably say that, like, when I got into astrology, like, that was, like, the biggest thing that was interesting for me, especially because it was the first time I got into astrology right around the time that I met my fiancé, and he was a Scorpio. And I was like, holy crap, this, like, really works. And he, like, mentioned something to me, actually, about, like, Scorpios and Pisces doing really well together. So I went back, like, throughout, like, my entire dating history and looked back to, like, all the signs that I had dated, and which ones worked and which ones didn't. And Libra with Pisces, like, works pretty decently. The Pisces woman is, like, the ultra feminine, as I said. We, like, want somebody that's going to protect us. And I didn't really feel that as much with Libras. The 2 signs that I can say I honestly did, well, I guess I can probably say 3 signs I felt that a lot with was, either people with, well, I mean, for me, I have Juno and Aries. So, like, Aries worked really well for me. Aries are, like, warriors. They're, like, ready to take charge and, like, run into battle. And, like, Aries men are kind of hot-headed in a sense. But they definitely are, like, big defenders, for sure. Especially for, like, a Pisces female. Like, they will keep you safe. They will, like, fight battles in the name of your honor. But Aries are also very hard to pin down, like, just because they are so, like, headstrong and, like, independent. I know that a lot of, like, Aries men, it takes them a long time to, like, settle down and, like, get into a relationship and find somebody that they, like, deem as, like, worthy of their catch, I guess you could say, because it's a very good way to put it. Aries men definitely catch their women. Like, once you are, like, with an Aries, like, you are Aries property. Not property. That sounds horrible. But, like, you are, like, the Aries, like, princess. Like, that's just pretty much the way that they put that. So, Aries work pretty well for Pisces, I do believe. Capricorns, actually, like, I had that was probably my first love, was a Capricorn. And Capricorns are really good for Pisces, too, just because they're, like, very, very strong and, like, devoutly, like, responsible and, very fatherly, I guess you could say, but, like, not in like a daddy issue kind of way. Like they're just like very big on like protecting their women and like doing what's right, and like they're like big on long-term commitment, but it takes Capricorns a long time to commit, like big time. Like they normally don't end up actually getting married, I've been told, or like read and researched, like until they're like older or like later in life. But the Capricorns are definitely like your businessmen of the zodiac. They're like the father, as opposed to like Cancer, who you would see as the mother, because those two signs, like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Cancer rules the moon. So it's mother and father pretty much. Capricorns do well with Pisces. The only thing that like the issue with like Capricorns is that they do kind of like die or like kill out your like imaginative side. Like they're very practical and like earthy and like, but most like well-rounded Capricorns, I mean, they have a lot of other, like everybody has like a bunch of different energy in their chart. So that's not always an issue. Like if they have like some like Neptune contacts and stuff, like Capricorns can be like really good for that too. I obviously am a huge supporter of Pisces and Scorpios because my fiance is a Scorpio, but I know just like most of my like closest like relationships, and I don't mean like of a romantic nature, I mean like just people that I was like close to were all Scorpios. My friend Rob was a Scorpio, and he had my back big time. Especially when it comes to like a male and like female, like if it's like a female Pisces and like the male is Scorpio, I don't know how the other, I guess it would still work with I know that I've like read like compatibility wise it still works pretty well for people like the other way around, like a female Scorpio and like a male Pisces. But like as a female Pisces, like definitely Scorpios are like awesome because they feel the need to like protect you and like sting the shit out of the faces of like anybody that will hurt you. And there's a lot of depth there, like I can't, emotionally, which I guess, I mean, I'm a Scorpio moon, so that makes a lot of sense why, like, emotionally that would work best for me. But, like, Scorpios are just very protective. They're, like, the badasses of the water signs, most definitely. I mean, they're, like, very, like, they're very controlled, like, of their emotions. Like, to get, like, a Scorpio to even show, like, that they care most of the time, like, you have to, like, jab the shit out of them. But Pisces women have a way of, like, being able to, like, soften up a Scorpio, and a Scorpio like enjoys like the like loyalty aspect of like Pisces, and yeah, Scorpios are good. What other signs do we have? Oh god, fire signs are really tricky for Pisces women, or probably water signs in general, just because if you think about it, okay, think about water and fire mixing together, it's like a tsh, like if you know what I mean by that, like the two energies just aren't as compatible unless you have like some other like strong fire in your chart, like definitely. But if not, like for me, like, all the fire signs that I dated, especially, like, Sagittariuses, I'm just like, can you sit the fuck down? Like, you're moving around way too much right now, buddy. Like, you just need to sit down. You're driving me nuts. It probably has a lot to do with the fact that I have Taurus, or my Venus is in Taurus. So, like, I'm very big on, like, commitment and, like, slow and steady. And Sagittariuses are, like, ready to, like, run into, like, playful glee of happiness. I don't even know. Sagittariuses take a long time to settle down, too. Big time. Who else do we have? Who else is good with a Pisces? I've been told that Virgo, like men, do really well with Pisces females as well. For me personally, and that's probably with like my Mars and Capricorn. So like, the female like Mars sign is basically like what a woman like desires in a man. And for me, like personally, a Virgo wouldn't really do it just because they don't have enough like manly macho-ness. Like between my Mars sign, it like my Mars being in Capricorn and like my Juno being in Aries, like I want like a warrior, like badass, like a warrior with like strict values. Like I would go for like the guy that like how can I put this? Like somebody who was probably like a troublemaker in his youth, but like as he like matured, like became like a strong just look at my fiance. I mean, he's perfect. Like that's the perfect description. Like somebody who was probably like a troublemaker in their youth, but like matured to become like a strong like businessman, or like transfer that energy into like ambition and stuff like that. But I know that even though like those are my like own personal placements, like a lot of Pisces females do go for the same kind of thing because they want somebody who is going to protect them. Like we are soft and like gentle in comparison to all the other signs. I mean, Pisces are a mix of every single sign in the zodiac. We're known to be the quote-unquote, like, old souls of the zodiac because we have, supposedly, experience like every other sign. Like we've already lived like all 12 lives basically, which is why like Pisces females don't have a hard time like relating to people really, or not only Pisces females, Pisces in general. Like we don't have a hard time relating to people because we can see everything from like everybody's point of view, because supposedly we were them at one point. What can I say about that? Oh, they say like Pisces females are like the woman who like gets along with like everybody, like the like she'll know like the mailman by name and like the milkman, and like it's so true. Like my mail people, I can't really say here in Michigan, but like when I lived in Tennessee, like I knew like my UPS guy by name. Like I was like making this guy cookies and like sending him home like with him to like his family, and like knowing like that he had like 3 kids and like his wife's name and shit like that. Like we are just like very, very empathetic. We like become close to people pretty easily, especially if like we feel like we can like trust them and they're good people. So yeah, for a Pisces, I would say the best match for a Pisces woman would be obviously a Scorpio. Aries are good. Capricorns like work decently as well. I can't really say like Cancer males. I've actually had like a lot of like Cancer male friends, but for some reason Cancer males never really worked for me. I don't know why. Like they made like fantastic friends because they could meet me on like the same kind of depth, but they didn't have that bite to them. Like most of them were like too soft for me. Like I still needed somebody that was like a warrior due to like my Juno sign. Like I wanted somebody that would like fight for me. And Cancer is like very big on like family and stuff like that, which is something I am very attracted to. But like I wanted somebody that like had a like oomph to them. So, but I know that they say like a lot of like Pisces females are like very compatible with Cancers, and that like they're like maybe, I think they actually read like Cancers are like more compatible than Pisces and Scorpio. But that's the thing, like that's why astrology is amazing in the sense of like reading birth charts and shit like that. Because even if like your sun signs are compatible, there's so much other stuff in your chart to take into account. Like I won't even read, like I will with like my Scorpio fiance because like it is true, but like I won't even read like compatibility matches that are just like based on sun signs, or like even like descriptions of sun signs, because there's so much more to the person that you are. Like, that's why I consider, or I call, like, reading birth charts, like, connecting all the dots. It's like connecting all the dots to your personality. And there's so much more in there than just your sun sign. Your moon sign is such a huge impact, and so is your rising sign. Like, rising sign above anything, if you want to know about your personality, like, yeah, that's where you gotta look. So, those Pisces females, you just need somebody that's going to protect you. But if you really actually want to know like what your husband would be like, come to me. I'll tell you. I can look it up. I can look up your Juno. I can look up all the aspects to your Juno and tell you like exactly what your husband would be like. And actually, like probably while I'm reading it, you'll be like, holy shit, this does make sense. Like those are all like characteristics of like a man that I do find like very attractive. So yeah, Pisces women need a protector. Get yourself a Scorpio, or don't. Find yourself somebody else. Honestly, none of that really does reign true unless you look at your birth chart.